What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Shout out to everybody for being here, guys. I truly do appreciate you guys. For every single person in here, I appreciate y'all watching, guys. We're doing 5 leagues technically. We didn't miss one person last time, but we're going to be taking care of their team this time. It is going to be Jake's league in League 24, gentlemen. So we're going to scroll down till we find League 24 real quick. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So we're going to be doing Jake's team. Jake, welcome, my friend. I believe we missed your team. Jake, you do have a first round pick. All right, so that'll increase your draft just by a little bit. All right, with that being said, man, if we take a look at your team, Jake. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, who's going to be a phenomenal quarterback, man. Amazing. You getting him at the 2-9 when I still think he's a first-round pick is amazing. Trevor Lawrence is also very nice, guys. But don't forget, this was the only year he actually had a decent year. If you actually take a look at his other years, it wasn't amazing. Yes, he had a peak, in 2022 before this one. But besides that, it wasn't really amazing, guys. I'm hoping this isn't a one-hit wonder. I'm hoping he can keep doing this. But instead of Trevor Lawrence, man, I definitely would have went with Bo Nix, who has repeated this consistently throughout his fantasy years. I don't mind that, but you don't have a third quarterback. That does make your team a lot weaker. You have Justin Fields. I don't really trust him at all, especially as a backup. So your quarterbacks are very strong, but if one of them gets injured, man, they are very, very weak, my brother. All right, you do have Jalen Warren and Ramondre. Your running backs are very poor. I get the hype with Jalen Warren and Ramondre. Jalen Warren could be that running back one. Ramondre still has some value, guys, but you guys really want to be careful here, especially with Jalen Warren, because Rico Dowdle, guys, is not a bad player. And then Ramondre Stevenson. This might be Trayvon's year to explode. So the running backs are on the weaker side, but your wide receivers are elite with Jamar and Garrett Wilson. Your tight end is amazing. You have A.J. Brown, Zay Flowers, and Jordan Addison. I love your first two flexes, but Jordan Addison is competing with Juwan Jennings, Justin Jefferson, and T.J. Hawkinson, and Kyler Murray is throwing to him. So I don't know if I fully love that, my brother. I will say that. So your third flex is definitely on the weaker side, but you do have Jake Ferguson, you have Xavier Worthy, Khalil Shakir, Tyler Algier, Jerry Jeudy. What I will say is, why are we drafting a Jake Ferguson in here when we could have won with somebody like Michael Pittman, who can get you more points than Jake Ferguson? When we could have won with upside with Matthew Golden. When we could have won with Quentin Johnson and Michael Wilson, who'll get you more points than Jake Ferguson and Jordan Addison combined. You have Sam Laporta. You're probably not playing Jake Ferguson unless Sam Laporta is injured. Now, I get the argument you could play him in the flex 3 spot, but when Lamb and Pickens were healthy last year, he didn't really do much, guys. 3 points, 4 points, 7 points, 1.5 points. He kind of faded away from that offense. So I definitely think your bench is definitely on the weaker side. Khalil Shakir is useless, guys. Shakir did nothing last year, nothing in his whole football season, and you still drafted him. And DJ Moore is in that team now. You have Tyler, I get it. Backup. Jerry Jeudy, kind of worthless, man. Brandon Ayuk, I get maybe he might have some upside. Aaron Jones at the 17th round, man. Why are we not taking somebody else there that has upside? So your bench needs work. Your flex 3 needs work. If you don't have a quarterback 3, that also needs work. And unfortunately, your running backs are very, very weak. I'm gonna have to give this team a 5.2. A 5.2. Now I'm including that review with the I don't know if you guys can see the team. Let me put this down here. Now, I am reviewing this team with the fact that it does have its future first. So a 5.2, my friend. Jake, shout out to you for being here. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Now we are gonna go forward to League 24. 24, man. Shout out to everybody in League 24, guys. Let's scroll down till we find that real quick. No, my bad. Not 24. 26. All right, guys. 26. Perfect. All right, guys. We do have a couple people to review. First, it's going to be NCL. NCL is going to be right down here. Let me go ahead and do that. NCL. All right, my friend, NCL. You do have your future first, so that's a good sign at least. A lot of people try to trade their future first away, and when they do trade that, guys, it doesn't end up going too well, unfortunately, for some people. All right, NCL, you do have Josh Allen. You drafted at the 1-1. Phenomenal quarterback. Your second quarterback is Matthew Stafford. Then you do have Ty Simpson. Very weak, in my opinion. We don't even know if Ty Simpson's capable. We don't know if Matthew Stafford is going to be doing. We know what he's going to be doing, but in the future, probably next year or the year after that, he's probably retiring. And by that time, you don't have a third quarterback. You have JJ McCarthy, but he's not going to be a starter, guys. He's not going to be a starter. Your quarterbacks are definitely on the weaker side besides Josh Allen. Kenneth Walker and Javonte are going to be great running backs, man. Drake London and Igbuka are also going to be amazing wide receivers for you. I love that stack. I love how you got Igbuka in the 4th round. Kelsey, getting him at the 12th. What are we doing? Why are we reaching on Kelsey? Why are we reaching on a 36-year-old tight end, guys? I will show you guys a quick draft that I'm doing right now where Kelsey is going, guys. I'm in this draft as well, by the way. Let's scroll down. I will show you guys where Kelsey went in this draft, guys. This is the reason I know this is because it's one of the few drafts that I'm actually drafting. Kelsey in this draft, right, went in the 16th round, guys. 16th round. Why are we taking him in the 12th round? It makes no sense. That's a little bit of a reach. I'm not the biggest fan of that, unfortunately. Your tight end, yes, he's gonna have he might have a good year this year, but man, what's the upside after? Rice is beautiful. Waddle is beautiful. Ramondre is gonna be a weak spot. You have Josh Allen, so I actually do not mind. He's only 24 years old. You have Zakarian Branch, who has a little bit of upside. Woody, upside if David gets hurt. Malachi Schultz, Jake Tongs, Colby. What I will say is if Ramondre doesn't perform like you're hoping to, you're going to have to play Josh Downs. And even though I like Josh Downs and his age, he's not the wide receiver 1 there. He hasn't really done anything in the last 3 seasons to make him a wide receiver, even 2 numbers. It's going to be Alec Pierce's team. I'm worried about your flex 3. I'm worried about your quarterbacks, but your running backs, your wide receivers, and your flex 1 and 2 is amazing. Your tight end is also on the weaker side with Kelsey being old. Your Matthew Stafford is being old as well. Your bench could use improvement as well, man. I would definitely try to target a quarterback. I'd definitely try to see if you can trade away Josh Allen. Maybe try to, get a Jalen Hurts plus a, DJ Moore or something like that. You definitely need more value on this team. But I do like this team more than Jake's team, which is a team I reviewed last. So I'm going to give this team a 6.1. 6.1, still a very solid team, NCL. You have your future first. Actually, with the future first and all your picks there, I'm going to give it a 6.3. I still really like this team, but you do need improvements on your quarterback room and your bench and your tight end and your flex 3. Shout out to you for being here. I appreciate you. Now we are going to go forward to Eat Stank Nuts, gentlemen. If we can find him. Perfect. He does have his future first round picks, guys. He has drafted at the 111, gentlemen. If we go ahead and take a look at his team real quick, he has Bo Nix, who's going to be a great quarterback. I love Bo Nix. Yes, he has gotten injured, guys, but it's still Bo Nix, man. We know what he's capable of, and he got Jalen Waddle as well. And then he has Jordan Love, who is a phenomenal quarterback. But, man, why do we not have a third quarterback? Yes, you have Shedeur Sanders, but you cannot trust Shedeur Sanders. Guys, in Dynasty, a third quarterback is one of the most valuable positions, especially in the Superflex. When your quarterbacks have bye weeks, when your quarterbacks get injured, you need a third quarterback, gentlemen. Jadarian and DeAndre Swift are going to be great running backs. I like those. JJ, CD, amazing wide receivers. Kraft is an elite tight end. Devontae is going to be a great flex 1 for you, but Dalton and Jacoby, I don't really see the full vision in that. I'm trying to find out maybe who you could have drafted over Jacoby, man. I would have drafted Parker Washington over Jacoby. Jacoby's turn in Dynasty, guys. When Jacoby and Parker Washington are going next to each other in redraft forms, and you decide to take Jacoby, who's older in Dynasty, over Parker Washington, who's still young, who can still have a prime NFL career, I don't agree with that. Now, Kincaid, guys, A lot of people reach on Kincaid, man. What are we doing? Why are we taking Kincaid? Kincaid has done nothing in his football season to make him a top 9 round pick. Nothing, guys. Dawson Knox is still in that team, guys. Dawson Knox is still in that team. So be very, very careful, gentlemen. I don't like that Kincaid. I think instead of Kincaid, you definitely could have won with Addison even, or even, you know, Michael Wilson. You know, if you wanted to compete, Devontae Adams and Scary Terry would not be that far off. You also don't have a third running back from what I see. Yes, you have Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, but a true third running back. You could have won with a David Montgomery. You could have won with a Chuba Hubbard, but yeah, we wasted a pick on Dalton Kincaid. Now, if your bench is very safe with Jalen Warren, Worthy, Kenneth Gainwell, Shadur Sanders, Brandon Ayuk, TJ Spears, Caleb Johnson, I see the upside. Your bench is actually on the solid side. But your flexes worry me with Dalton Kincaid and Jacoby Myers. You not having a third QB worries me as well. But so far, this is a better team than the other teams, especially with you having your first as well. I'm going to give this team a 6.6. Stinks. Shout out to you for being here, brother. I appreciate you. We're going to go to Minshew's next. Minshew, welcome, my friend. Minshew, if we take a look at your team real quick. You, in fact, do have a first-round pick next year. And you have another second-round pick. You traded your third-round pick away. I do not mind that at all. I do like second-round picks over third-round picks. Jalen Hurts as your quarterback 1 is pretty nice. I'm not going to lie to you. He did fall last year, guys, but do not forget. Look at what Liam Cohen did with Trevor Lawrence, guys. Look at what Liam Cohen did. It just takes one good coach to make Jalen Hurts back into round 1. Travion and Quinshon Judkins are going to be amazing running backs next year. The reason I say that is because Judkins is coming off of an injury, and Travion Henderson is still competing with Ramondre. Now, this season, I don't know if I love it, but next season, I can definitely see the vision. Burden and Tyson, man, I think Burden's one of the most overrated wide receiver high players, in my opinion. Burden has done nothing to prove why he deserves this. Yes, he had a 27-point game, guys. I can show you Dontavian Wicks, who had a 20-plus point game. A Dontavian Wicks from the Green Bay Packers, who got traded, who had a 20-plus point game, guys. I do not trust this. Jordan Tyson, I don't mind at all. Getting him at the 5-6 might be just a tad bit too early, but I don't mind it. Second option with the Saints. Trey McBride, an elite option. Mikal Lemon, Sam Laporta, Casey. I actually like your bench, man. Casey has a chance to be the wide receiver 1. Laporta's still Laporta. Mikal Lemon can be that guy. This is a very young team. Then you went ahead and took Jared Goff when you have such a young team. What are we doing? Why are we not taking a Kyler Murray there? Why are we not trying to take a Malik Willis over Jared Goff? Or even a Bryce Young, man. Jared Goff is turning 32 years old. This team will be competing next year. This year, it might be just a little bit harder to compete, especially with all the rookies you have. But, man, instead of Jared Goff, we definitely would have won with someone else. But what I do like is I do like you have 3 quarterbacks. I do like you have 3 quarterbacks. I like the fact you have a good bench with Alec Pierce, Chuba Hubbard. You have Zach Charbonnet. You have Stribling. I like you have upside and you have safe players in your bench. This is what I'm looking for in a bench and another quarterback. I think if this team, to be honest, man, this is one of the better teams that I rated. Yes, this team is very young, but this team for Dynasty is phenomenal. Phenomenal, guys. Young quarterback core besides Jared Goff, yes. Young running back core, young wide receiver core, young tight end core, young flex core. Just because they're young doesn't mean they're not valuable. This is amazing. Then you have some upside with Pierce, upside with Chuba Hubbard, meaning they can step in. If KC doesn't perform, if Luther Burden doesn't perform, Alec Pierce can step into that role. Chuba Hubbard can step in that role. Guys, Alec Pierce is only 26 years old. Alec Pierce is only 26 years old, guys. He has a chance to break out like Nico Collins does. I like this team. At first, I didn't see the full vision, but after I saw your bench, this is a very solid team. I'm going to give this team an 8.1, Minshew. That's how much I like this team. I think this is one of my first 8.1 plus ratings in a Dynasty league. But you did phenomenal, Minshew. Shout out to you for being here, brother. You know, next year it might be an 8.6 with the young core you do have. This year it is an 8.1, unfortunately, because it is a little bit, just a little bit too young. But I do not mind it whatsoever. Long term, this is a phenomenal team. All right, we are gonna go to. Oh shoot, did I take care of Minshew? Minshew, yeah, Minshew's team. Perfect, Minshew. That's who I meant. All right, then we are gonna go ahead and take care of Goodbird's team. Goodbird, you do have your first as well, Goodbird. Let's take a look at your team. Goodbird, you have Jackson Dart as your quarterback one, which is phenomenal. Devon Achane and Travis Etienne are going to be great running backs for you. Jason and Cardinal Tate are going to be great wide receivers. Tyler Warren is going to be a great tight end. Michael Wilson, Eli Sowers, Nicholas. I don't mind Michael Wilson. I don't prefer him. I don't mind him. But your flexes 2 and 3 with Stowers and Singleton need a lot of work, my friend. Sam Darnold, I don't mind him. I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's all right. You know, he's. If I go to the grocery store and I see a bag of chips that I'm like, you know, I'll buy it just because I'm hungry. But it's not like I'm excited for it. You know, that's what Sam Darnold kind of reminds me of. So you don't have a third quarterback either. That's a little bit on the weaker side, man. I don't love that for you. Instead of, in my opinion, bro, instead of drafting Chris Bell here, I see the vision here, but I definitely would have went with a Jacoby and Michael Penix or somebody else that can compete for that quarterback one spot. Even Shedeur Sanders over Chris Bell. Now, I don't mind the Chris Bell pick. He does have upside. You also have safe floors with Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin. Troy Franklin can have upside as well. Your bench is very solid, but you don't have a quarterback 3. Your flexes 2 and 3 are very, very weak. I would recommend you trade Devon Achane or a Jackson Dart or even a JSN and get yourself another solid wide receiver with a solid flex 2. So then in case Stowers doesn't perform or Nicholas doesn't perform, you can have somebody there. Now I get it. You'll be like, you know, I'll put in Michael Pittman. I'll put in Chris Godwin there. These two are very injury prone, guys. Both of these players are very injury prone. They're both on the older side of their career. I'm sorry, guys. They're both on the older side of their career. What that means is that they're on a decline. I would not trust them. I would not trust them personally. So your flexes are on the weaker side. And your quarterback 3 is on the weaker side as well. Your quarterback 2. But I don't mind this team. This team's still very solid. I'm going to give this team a 6.9. I do like this team. I like the vision of this team. I like the youngness of the team as well as the safety in this team as well. 6.9, Goodbird. Shout out to you for being here. I appreciate you. We're going to go to Gordy's next. Gordy's, welcome, my brother. You do have your first round pick as well, Gordy's. You're at the 1-3. Joe Burrow as your quarterback 1 is going to be very nice. Getting him at the 2-7, what a steal. I know. He's turning 30, but it's still Joe Burrow, guys. James Cook and Saquon Barkley are going to be phenomenal. Running backs for you. Jamar Chase and DJ Moore. I'm a big fan of DJ Moore in redrafts because he has Josh Allen, but he still scares me. I really do like Jamar Chase though. Now I will say Jake Ferguson is still an underrated tight end if he is your tight end 1. If he's not your tight end 2, backup tight end, all that, I don't think you need him. Pearsall, I don't think Pearsall did anything to make us have him in our flex, guys. Mike Evans, I like. George Kittle's still injured, but I don't mind it. Then you have Brock. I'm guessing you're a 49ers fan, man. You don't have a third quarterback. That makes your team extremely weak. Khalil Shakir, guys. What is up with people drafting Khalil Shakir? What has Shakir done to have him get drafted? I wouldn't even pick him up if he was in the waivers. I just don't understand. Yes, they paid him a decent amount of money, but it's still Khalil Shakir, man. What is he going to do for your team? What I will say about this team is the bench definitely needs some work. The flex needs some work. But overall, the quarterback is great. The running backs are great. The wide receivers are solid. The tight end is solid. The quarterback 2 is solid. Pearsall, I don't trust. Your bench, I don't trust. George Kittle's still injured. What I would say is I would try to have you trade Jamar or Saquon or somebody else and get yourself another running back 3. When I say trade Saquon, I mean trade Saquon and get maybe a Chuba and David Montgomery. So now you have a running back 2 and a running back 3. Because if Saquon gets hurt, man, you're going to have to rely on JCM. What has JCM done to make you be like, you know what, this is the guy if Saquon gets hurt or if James Cook gets hurt? You definitely need a running back 3. But what I will say is I do like this team because I was gonna say this team is a mix of old and young, but it seems like you have more older people than younger people, man. Joe Burrow's on the older side, DJ Moore's on the older side, Saquon's on the older side, Mike Evans is on the older side, George Kittle's on the older side. I think you're drafting to win, and I don't mind that, but you definitely, in the long term, are gonna end up not being as happy. I'm gonna have to give this team a 6.2, 6.2 Gordies, mainly because this team's a little bit on the older side. You need a lot of work with your quarterback 3 as well as your bench, as well as your flex 1 and your flex 3 with George Kittle being hurt. But with that being said, I appreciate you for being here, Gordies. Thank you. And with that being said, man, shout out to NCL, Seahawks, Gordies, Money, Tiger, Goodbird, Minshew, Brody, Davis, Liv, Eat Stinks, and Mally for all being here, guys. I appreciate y'all. We are going to go forward and move to League 27, gentlemen. League 27. All right. Let me see who's 27. All right, in 27, guys, we do have 2 people to take care of. Only 2 people wanted their teams reviewed. Blue Skills is going to be in here. Blue. Let's take a look at your team. You did not trade your future first-round pick, Blue. That's a good sign. If we take a look at your team real quick, you have Justin Herbert as your quarterback 1. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind Herbert as your quarterback 2, but 1, we are stretching it. Justin Herbert, guys, has had games where, yes, he was impressive, guys. Yes, he was impressive. But Justin Herbert has also had a span of games where he had 14 points, 4 points, 13 points, 13 points, 11 points, guys. Justin Herbert is your quarterback 1 in a run-first offense. Guys, as much as I get the vision with Herbert and his arm strength, a quarterback 1 like Sam Darnold or Justin Herbert in a run-first offense usually is not a good sign. I'm just gonna leave that out there. But you do have Bo Nix, who is phenomenal, and you have Sam Darnold. This is a beautiful quarterback room. You have Bucky and Jadarian, amazing run. What I've seen so far is phenomenal, Blue. Justin Jefferson and Zay, I'm loving it even more. Tyler Warren, phenomenal. Casey, Watson, and Jalen Warren. The flexes can use work, but so far, KC has upside. Could be the wide receiver 1. Christian Watson could be the wide receiver 1 still if staying healthy. Jalen Warren could give you those 10 points that you need. So far, this is a phenomenal starting squad. Let me see your bench. Tony Pollard, I see the vision. Running back 1 still. Antonio Williams, Mike Washington, Juwan Johnson, Jack Beck. You have some upside as well. Your bench, what I will say, needs a little bit of work, but not a lot, man. Not a lot. What I would say is your flexes are definitely might be on the weaker side, but it's still very solid. I like this team, Blue. I think this is one of the better teams you drafted. I'm going to give this team an 8.3. This is the highest rating team that I graded today. An 8.3, Blue Skills. You have your future first round picks as well. What I would tell you is because you have such a very solid team, I would try to see if you can trade your first round, first, second, and third, and go ahead and grab somebody to solidify that flex room, man. I would go ahead and see if somebody like Kyron Williams is available, a Jalen Waddle, and Mekhi Lemon, Elad McConkey, and Marvin Harrison. Somebody to solidify your flex room. That's who I would target. But Blue, very solid team, 8.3, man. Good drafting so far. That's Blue Skills, yep. And now we're gonna go to Goodbird. Goodbird, it looks like you have 2 first round picks next year. Okay. Let's take a look at your team real quick, Goodbird. Jordan Love is your quarterback 1. I don't mind whatsoever. Jameer and Travis Etienne are going to be great running backs. Jason and Garrett Wilson are going to be phenomenal wide receivers. Kyle Pitts is going to be a good tight end. Yeah, Pierce Likely and Matthew Golden and Baker Mayfield. For someone that has 2 first-round picks and neither is your pick, I don't mind this team. I do not mind this team. Alec Pierce could be very solid. Likely could have a breakout year. And then Matthew Golden could also have a breakout year. Now, that's a couple ifs. And in the NFL, not all the ifs will plan out. So what I will say is that I like it, but you need some safety players as well. You have Jordan Addison, Emmett Johnson, Katron Skyler, Jalen Naylor. What I will say is, man, I do not like the fact you don't have your first round pick. I would see if you could trade Kev's or CMB's first round pick for your first round pick, because your team can get very, very ugly very quick, man. If Likely doesn't pan out, if Matthew Golden doesn't pan out, let's just say a Travis Etienne or Jimmy Gibbs gets hurt, then you're gonna have to rely on an Emmett Johnson, a Katron Ellen, a Trey Benson. Your running back room, yes, it's very solid if healthy, but man, your wide receiver room, you're gonna need to trade one of them away to get a third running back, because you don't have your future first round pick. If one of your running backs gets hurt, you're screwed unless you trade somebody. Not only that, if Likely or Matthew Golden doesn't pan out, you're gonna have to rely on Jordan Addison, who, like I said, has Juwan Jennings, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson to compete with Kyler Murray throwing the ball. I do not trust that. I would definitely try to see if I could trade one of my first round picks away. With that being said, it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team. I understand you're trying to win now. I see it. I see the vision. But you're putting out more than you can get. More than you can take. I'm going to give this team a 6.4. 6.4. The main reason I say 6.4, guys, not because I don't like your first round picks. If you have your first round pick and someone else's first round pick, easily a 7.1. Easily a 7.1. But unfortunately, you don't have that. Unfortunately, you're one injury, one if away from this team being a low tier team, you not making the playoffs, your first round pick going to somebody else. I would try to get my first round pick back. That would be my first priority. Goodbert, shout out to you for being here at 6.4. I appreciate you. We're now going to go to League 28, gentlemen. League 28. Shout out to everybody for being here. Let me go ahead and shout them out real quick, man. Rono, Shotting Sloth, Kevs, Washington, CMB, Davis, Blue, Champion, Atherton, Goodbert, Andrew, Kitchen. Thank you guys for playing with us. I appreciate you. And don't forget, guys, if you guys want to play with us future, you guys can always be on the Discord. You guys can find it through my leagues. You guys can find it on my YouTube. You guys can find it everywhere. Guys, we have we have a lot of members. We're actually doing $100. We're doing, oh my God, $100 giveaway league right now. All you have to be is in my league to join it. You just click on this league and you can go ahead and compete for $100. We're gonna have more giveaways, of course, coming up, but this is for my Discord community members that are in my leagues, guys. All right, with that being said, we are going to go to League 28. Let's go ahead and look at the draft results real quick. We do have a couple people we have to take care of in this team. We're going to start off with J-Bone. J-Bone, welcome, my brother. It does look like you have your first round pick. You're drafting at the 112. It does not seem like you made any trades from what I see. It does. You did not make any trades. So this is going to be a very weak flex room, or a quarterback 3 room, or a quarterback room. All right, based on your draft so far, right, guys? Let me move this right down here real quick. I apologize. All right. With that being said, guys. With that being said, all right. Matthew Stafford and C.J. Stroud. Don't get me wrong. Why are we drafting Stafford at the 6-12? Was that a misclick? That baffles me. Where did he go in this draft? $7.9. Okay, at least that's better than the 6-12, but still, guys, Stafford is turning 39 years old, and we're still drafting him in the top 7. That's a first round pick that you guys could get. That baffles me. I don't understand what we're doing with that. Let me see let me see in my draft, right? In the draft that I'm at. 7-4. That baffles me as well, guys. We are taking a quarterback that is 39 years old in the first 6 rounds. And then I get CJ Stroud. He could be really good. Don't get me wrong. CJ Stroud could come back, but man, last year was horrid. Horrid. So your quarterbacks are definitely on the weaker side. You don't have a quarterback 3. Ty Simpson is not a quarterback 3. He's a backup quarterback right now. So your quarterbacks are on the weaker side. Running backs are really strong. Wide receivers are really strong. Tight end is pretty good. Then you have Burden, Kincaid, and Matthew Golden. I don't like Kincaid, like I mentioned before. No reason to grab him. You already have Jake Ferguson. Instead of Kincaid, man, go ahead and grab a Worthy, a Josh Downs, a Quentin Johnston. I'm not sure what Kincaid is going to do for your team. Matthew Golden, I see the upside. Luther Burden, I see the upside. But why are we wasting a 5-1, a 5th round pick, early 5th round pick on a Luther Burden who is unproven when we could spend it on AJ Brown, when we could spend it on a Rome Odunze, on a Zay Flowers, on a Marv, on a Mekhi Lemon, who have more upside than Luther Burden, in my opinion. Your flex room definitely needs work. Your quarterbacks need work. And I'm being honest with you, man. J.K. Dobbins, Michael Pittman, Trey Benson. I like Michael Pittman pick, but J.K. Dobbins is turning 28. He hasn't had a single year where he wasn't injured. Michael Pittman, he's also injury prone. Your bench confuses me because your team is young. So why are we drafting old heads in our bench? This does have to be one of the lower teams that I do like from you, J-Bone, unfortunately. I do want to like this team, man. I do want to like this team, but unfortunately, I don't understand the vision. I would definitely try to trade as much as possible. I think I would definitely try to trade Malik Neighbors or Ashton Genty and get a stronger flex going on in here. And then maybe a stronger bench or a more upside bench. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind Michael Pittman. You can plug him in, but until he's in, he's going to get injured. J.K. Dobbins is going to get injured. They both have history of injuries. Pittman is dealing with a severe back injury. I have a back injury too. That shit does not go away, guys. J.K. Dobbins, injury prone, legs everywhere, everything. And they drafted a running back 3 as well. Trey Benson's useless. Tyler Aguirre is there. Trey Benson's useless. Keenan Mitchell, not going to do much. He's been injury prone as well. I want to give this team a high team, man, a higher rating, but unfortunately, due to you having weak flexes, weak quarterbacks, and a weak bench, as well as no trades being done, I'm going to have to give this team a 3.8. A 3.8 J-Bone. I don't see the vision in this team, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind your picks in the first 4 rounds, but Stafford in the first 6 rounds, an unproven wide receiver. Flexes are iffy. Benches at 3.8, my brother. I do appreciate you for being here, though. I do appreciate you for being here. All right, we are going to go to Trey's team next. Trey. All right, let's see where your team is, Trey. All right, Trey, you do have your first round picks as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at your first round picks. I mean, your draft picks. Burrow at the 111. Don't get me wrong, guys. I like Burrow, but why are we taking Burrow over Jaden Daniels? That doesn't make too much sense to me. I get it. You want to have a one now quarterback maybe, or you're a Bengal. I just don't understand why we're taking Burrow over Jaden Daniels. Daniels has more upside than Burrow. Yes, more upside than Burrow, and is younger. Cook and Chase Brown are going to be great running backs. Lamb and A.J. Brown are going to be great wide receivers. Sam Laporta is going to be a good tight end. Pierce, Monty are going to be great flexes. DK, what has DK done to deserve getting drafted at the 9-2? Instead of DK, man, you could have went a Josh Downs, a Quentin Johnston, who are younger, who have more upside than DK. DK was a wide receiver 1 last year with no wide receiver competition, and he finished as wide receiver 26. 187 points. Now he's gonna have Pittman too. I personally don't love that for you. I think your flex 3 is on the weaker side. You don't have a quarterback 3. Your quarterback's on the weaker side. I don't mind Tony Pollard, but why are we drafting Khalil Shakir here? Geno Smith as your quarterback 3. I don't love it. Old head, he's turning 36. What I will say, man, your running backs are very strong. Your wide receivers are very strong. Your tight end is very strong. Your first 2 flexes are strong. Your quarterback 1 is strong. Quarterback 2 is, I don't mind at all. Getting Kyler at the 10-11, what a steal as well. What I will say is your flex 3 is on the weaker side and your bench is on the weaker side. But this is still a very solid team. I'm going to see him at 6.4. 6.5 because you have your first round pick next year. 6.5. You don't have your third, but that's all right. 6.5. Trey, I appreciate you for being here. We're going to go to Sploinky's team next. Sploinky, welcome, my brother. You do have your first round pick. And if we take a look at your first round pick next year and your draft selections, we can see you have Patrick Mahomes at the 2-9. A little bit early. I don't mind it, man. But a little bit, just a tad bit early for Mahomes. Mainly because of that ACL injury and mainly because of him turning 31 years old. Running backs are phenomenal. Wide receivers are amazing. I don't know how I feel about Godson with Njoku there, man. I feel like it's going to be a Dawson Knox and a Dawson Knox situation with... Oh, man, I'm blanking. With Dalton Kincaid. It's going to be a Dawson Knox and a Dalton Kincaid situation with Godson. Neither are going to be startable. I think your tight end is definitely on the weaker side. But Rome and Devontae are going to be amazing flexes. Why are we taking Hunter? Why are we taking Hunter at the 10-4? Anyone know why we're taking Hunter here? Over a Mike Evans when you have a win-now team? Hunter over Matthew Golden? You chose a cornerback over a wide receiver that got drafted in the same class? In the first round too? Man, this was such a solid team so far until we got to Hunter here. And then you double down and then you choose Cam Ward as your quarterback too. Man. I like Quentin Johnston. Don't get me wrong. You could play him for Travis Hunter. Michael Penix still has some upside. Jordan Mason could be the running back 1. Barner, Trey Harris. The bench isn't terrible. Your quarterbacks are definitely on the weaker side because of Cam Ward and Michael Penix being your quarterback 2 and 3. What I will say is, even though your flex 3 is on the weaker side and your bench is on the weaker side and your quarterback is on the weaker side, this team so far is very solid. I love your quarterback with Mahomes. I love your running backs. I love your wide receivers. Your tight end is also on the weaker side, but your flex 1 and 2 is very strong. What I will say is, due to your quarterback 2 and 3 being weak, due to your tight end being weak, due to your bench being weak, due to your flex 3 being weak, I'm going to have to give this team a 5.2. 5.2 Sploinky. 5.2, my brother. I'll give it a 5.3 because you have your first round pick next year. 5.3. Shout out to you for being here. I appreciate you. We're going to go to K Bricks next. K Bricks, welcome, my brother. You do have your first round pick next year as well. If we take a look at your team, K Bricks, Drake May is going to be a phenomenal quarterback. Travion and Javonte are going to be amazing running backs. Travion is going to be a better running back next year than this year is what I will say. Egbuka and Makai are going to be phenomenal wide receivers for you. Kyle Pitts is going to be a good tight end. You had ETN, Wandell, and Jacoby Myers, who I don't hate I don't love though. I don't love though. Etienne's on the older side. Wandel's on the older side. Jacoby's on the older side. Etienne is probably the only flex I like. Wandel's gonna be the wide receiver 2 in the Titans offense. Jacoby's on a decline. On the last 3 games, 8 points, 7 points, 9 points. Kind of on a decline. I don't love that for you. So your flexes definitely need work there. Your running back 1 with Travion kind of needs work. You have Daniel Jones. I like your quarterbacks for sure. Romeo Dobbs, Chig, Travis Kelce. I like how you didn't reach for Kelce. Romeo Dobbs can have some upside as well. Chig could have upside. Your bench is not bad. What I will say is your flex 2 and 3 are on the weaker side. And your running back 1 is on the weaker side. But this isn't a bad team. I'm going to give this team a 7.1. K-Bricks, it's not a bad team. I feel like this team would be a lot better next year. Because of Travion, because of Makai, because of Egbuka. But what I will say is that your flex 2 and 3 is definitely on the weaker side. And your bench could use some work as well. But I appreciate you for being here. I'm actually, because of your first round, I'm going to bump this up to 7.4. I like this team. I think this team can be competitive this year. You still have your first round pick next year. You can make some moves. I like this team. 7.4. Shout out to you, K-Bricks, for being in here. All right, we're going to go to Dale next, gentlemen. Dale does have his first round pick. Dale picked at the... We find him. Dale picked at the 1-7, gentlemen. If we take a look at Dale's team here. Dale chose Josh Allen as his quarterback 1. Phenomenal. Quinshon Judkins and Bucky Irving are going to be great running backs. Guys, people are hating on Bucky Irving. Getting him at the 6-7 is a phenomenal spot for him. Puka Nacua and James, great wide receivers. Elite tight end. You have Sadiq Cooper and Christian Watson. I don't mind it. Omar is a wide receiver 2. Kenyon Sadiq is a tight end 1. Christian Watson could be the wide receiver 1. Fernando Mendoza. I don't mind this team. This team, if the rookies hit, can be very competitive. You still have your first round pick next year. You have a very young core, but you also have safety in that core, like a Puka Nacua, like a Judkins and Bucky Irving, like a Josh Allen. What I'll say is your bench has too much upside now. You have Boston, Singleton, Woody Marks, Chris Brazel. What I would do if I were you, man, because I have such a young core in my starting lineup, I would try to go for safety in my bench a little bit in case one of my rookies doesn't pan out. That's what I would do. Instead of going with Singleton here, I would have tried going with Sutton. I would have tried going with Tony Pollard. I would have tried going with Michael Pittman. Mainly because if one of your running backs gets hurt with Judkins and Bucky, who are both injury prone, may I say, you don't really have a running back 3 on your team that could go there and be plugged in as your running back 1 or 2. Aaron Jones is not someone I would consider running back because he's also injury prone. And Jordan Mason looks like he is a running back 1 there. So what I would say is your running backs are definitely on the weaker side because you don't have a running back 3. Your quarterbacks are on the weaker side because you don't have a quarterback 3. Shedeur Sanders does not count. Your flexes are a little bit on the younger side, and your bench is a little bit on the younger side as well. I like younger side, but on my flexes, I would prefer just a little bit on the older side. If I do have younger side, I would prefer my bench to be on the older side. Just a tad bit, just in case they don't work out. But I see the vision. You still have your first round pick next year. I'm going to give this team a 6.8, Dale. 6.8. Shout out to you for being here, man. Shout out to Tommy. Shout out to K-Bricks, Killer, Splunky, Mally, Praz, Dale, Devin, Perky, Matt, Trey, and JB for all being in here, guys. I appreciate y'all. We're going to go to last but not least, League 30. League 29 isn't going to get it yet because they just finished their draft. So we're going to go to League 30, gentlemen. If we take a look at the draft results, we're going to be reviewing 3 teams. We're going to be reviewing blanks, LeBron James, and Splunky again. Since Splunky is here, I'll go ahead and review his team back to back just to see if anything's there. You do have 3 second-round picks. All right. That does boost your team just a tad bit. Let's go see how your team looks here, Splunky. You drafted at the 1-8. You did make a few trades on your team as well. You have Justin Herbert as your quarterback 1. At the 3rd round, I don't mind it, but at 3rd round, I don't mind it. I don't mind Herbert in the 3rd round. In the 2nd round, now we're pushing it. In the first... Okay, you guys know what I mean. Walker and Jadair Pierce are great running backs. Amana and JJ are going to be great wide receivers. Kyle Pitts is going to be great tight end. You got Wilson, Tuden. I don't mind those flex 1s and 2s. Then you have Eli Stowers. Why are we taking an Eli Stowers at the 10-10 when we have a Kyle Pitts? Why are we not? You have a win-now team. Why are we not taking a Terry McLaurin? Why are we not taking a Quentin Johnson and Michael Pittman? Why? What is Eli Stowers going to do for your team week 1? You have Daniel Jones, Jonah Coleman, Gunnar Helm. Let's just say Stowers doesn't work out, right? Stowers is going to be sitting behind Dallas Goedert, guys. There's no way in fantasy ever Stowers is going to be starting over Goedert unless Goedert gets hurt. It's going to be the Trey McBride, Zach Ertz situation. Don't get me wrong, Stowers has value probably next year or the year after that, just like Trey McBride. But right now, with Dallas Goedert there, Stowers is kind of going to be playing as a backup role. And now I would say I don't mind that, but your bench, you have Jonah Coleman, Gunnar Helm, Tony Williams, Isaac Tesla. You can't trust any of these benches. Instead of going with Jonah Coleman, man, go with a Quentin Johnson, go with a Michael Pittman, a Jaden Reed. Instead of going with a Gunnar Helm, man, go with I don't even know who you could have won with. I would have won with a Coker, maybe more upside there. What I will say about this team is that it is better than your last team. I love how you started with your quarterback, your running backs, your wide receivers, your tight end, your flex 1 and 2, your quarterbacks with Bryce Young and Daniel Jones, but your flex 3 is on the weaker side and your bench is on the weaker side. I'm going to give this team a 7.2, Sploinky. 7.2. Way better than the last team. I will say that. Improvement. All right, we are going to go to Blanks' team next. Blanks, welcome, my brother. All right, if we take a look at your team, right, you do not have a future first. So your team should be very, very good in this situation. If it's not, it's going to be a very, very low rating, Blanks. Mahomes is going to be a great quarterback. At the 2-6 might be just a tad bit early. Scatterbo and DeAndre Swift are going to be great running backs. Nico and Rashi are going to be amazing wide receivers for you. Trey McBride is going to be a great tight end. Watson, Laporta, and KC are going to be great so far. Bo Nix, you don't have a quarterback 3. That does worry me. You have Shadur Sanders as your quarterback 3. I don't like that personally. You have David Montgomery, Michael Wilson. This is a win-now team. I like what you did with this team. I like you have David Montgomery, Michael Wilson, and Michael Pittman. This is a win-now team. What I will say is what's going to happen in the following years. Maybe you'll adjust. You have your 28 first still. This year, if we're comparing this team, this would be a 7.6. The main reason I say that is, man, if we're drafting a little bit on the older side, with Nico Collins, with DeAndre Swift, with Patrick Mahomes, with, some of these people, I would try to see maybe I could limit myself to 1 or 2 older people. Michael Wilson's turning 27, Monty's turning 29, Michael Pittman's turning 29. What I would say is instead, I would prefer maybe 1 safe player, maybe 2 at most, but I would try to shoot for a little bit on the rookie upside here. You already have 2 solid safe players instead of Michael Pittman in here. Now, what you need to focus on is making sure you have more upside on your team. So I would try to maybe go with a Josh Downs who's 24 years old instead of someone that's 29 years old. I would have seen if, Jaden Reed, who's only 26 years old. I would have seen if somebody like Quentin Johnston I would take, who's 24 years old, who has more upside than Michael Pittman. That's what I would do. But so far, this is a very solid team. I'm going to give this team a 7.6 Blanks. Very solid team. With that being said, brother, I do appreciate you for being here. I appreciate everybody, man. Shout out to Zero Gravity, Matt Silva, Nichols, Blanks, Icy, Leron, Davis, Philly, Jimmy, Spoinky, Brody, and Rabbi Rob for all being here. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want your reviews, don't forget you guys have to complete these steps, or I will assume you guys don't want reviews, and not everybody wants reviews. So, with that being said, the reviews are now over. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. I know we have some people watching. I appreciate you guys for watching. I will be posting this on the YouTube video. I'll be sharing it with all the leagues so you guys can watch it as well. Have a great night, guys. I appreciate you guys.